Welcome back to our channel. Today is a brilliant, beautiful day to dive deep into the heart of Port Charles. We are so thrilled to have you here with us as we unpack the latest, mind-blowing twists that have completely redefined everything we thought we knew. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's explore the brilliant madness currently unfolding on our screen. The cold, unforgiving steel of a gun barrel reflecting the dim light of a botched stakeout, and the agonizing realization that the man wearing a beloved hero's face is actually a ghost forged in deception. These are the impossible choices now, suffocating everyone involved, marking a seismic shift in momentum that has left Port Charles forever changed. I feel so incredibly validated by that scene in the Windermere captivity cell, because to me, it finally proved that the writers knew exactly what they were doing with Ryan Paevey's. When Cassius Phazon finally dropped the mask and revealed his true identity to a captive Liesel Obrecht, I got absolute chills. I loved the way the lighting changed when Cassius said that, shifting from a soft, hopeful glow into a harsh, cold reality that perfectly mirrored the shattering of Liesel's world. I think the writers brilliantly orchestrated this moment to highlight the sheer tragedy of Liesel realizing she had twins, only to discover one is a monster. Every time I watch that scene, I feel a profound sense of awe at how the show managed to twist our nostalgia into something so deeply sinister and I know a lot of people are saying the storyline is a betrayal of Nathan West's memory, but I actually think this imposter plot is the most respectful way to handle the legacy of the character. I genuinely think we're missing the point if we view Cassius as a destruction of Nathan. The way I interpret it, the revelation that Cassius secretly swapped DNA and fingerprints, and then quietly cremated the real Nathan, was a stroke of narrative genius. I feel so relieved by this specific plot point because it honors the finality of Nathan's original death. It tells us that the hero we loved is truly resting in peace, while allowing Ryan Paevey to flex an entirely different, darker set of acting muscles on our screen. I believe Ryan Paevey delivered the performance of his career in these recent episodes, and here's why his dialogue during the standoff with Joe Fitzpatrick backed up my When Joe realized mid-arrest that his stakeout partner wasn't Nathan, Cassius didn't even flinch. He just raised his weapon with a chilling calmness that the real Nathan would never possess. I feel such intense anxiety every time I replay that scene, because the subtle shift in Paevey's posture from the warm, approachable cop to a cold-blooded operative was flawless visual storytelling. It made me feel like I was watching a completely different person inhabiting the same body, which is exactly why this storyline is working so incredibly well for me. I am still weeping over the batting cage scene with James West and Cody Bell, because to me, it represented the tragic emotional core of this entire deception. I feel my heart physically ache when I think about Cassius risking his freedom just to have one final goodbye with the boy he was pretending to father. I love the way the ambient noise of the batting cages faded out when Cassius looked at James, isolating them in this heartbreaking bubble of stolen affection. I think the writer's choice to have them meet at the batting cages instead of a private home was brilliant, because it made me feel the public vulnerability of a man who knows the walls are closing in. It proved that even a villain like Cassius has an Achilles heel, and that complexity is why I am so fiercely loyal to this. I feel a profound sense of awe at how the writers handled Cassius faking his own death and vanishing. When WSB head Z officially recruited the presumed dead Cassius to work for him as a ghost, I literally gasped at my screen. I believe this open-ended exit is the absolute best they've written for a departing character, because it leaves the door cracked open for future mayhem without dragging out a storyline that had reached its natural climax. I feel so satisfied that, to the best of our knowledge, Nathan West is still 6 feet under, while Cassius is out there in the shadows, a phantom operative pulling strings for the WSB. I think the writers brilliantly orchestrated this vanishing act because it aligns perfectly with Ryan Paevey's real-world career moves, and I feel so much joy for him as an actor. General Hospital viewers are still trying to wrap their heads around his most recent run, but I believe the short-term nature of his contract was a blessing in disguise. I feel so incredibly excited because Paevey didn't waste any time finding new work, and the way the show wrote him out allows us to celebrate his next chapter without feeling like the soap left us hanging. The seamless transition from Cassius disappearing into the WSB ether to Paevey booking his next major gig is, in my opinion, a perfect synergy of behind-the-scenes reality and on-screen storytelling. I am absolutely obsessed with the cryptic Instagram post Paevey shared this week, and I feel like it perfectly mirrors the mysterious aura he left behind in Port Charles. He announced he would begin filming in September and captioned the post, "Can't tell you anything else yet except there's one clue hiding in this photo." I feel a rush of pure fan excitement because the photo showed Paevey decked out in holiday cheer with Christmas music playing in the V background. Every time I think about that post, I feel a warm wave of nostalgia, because it immediately anchors me back to the joy he brings to the screen, whether he is playing a dark imposter on General Hospital or a romantic lead in A Winter Wonderland. I believe the clue pointing to the production page, Justice and Ponder, is so thrilling for those of us who have supported his career for years. I feel like this new gig is the perfect palate cleanser after the heavy, intense drama of the Cassius Phazon storyline. The way I see it, watching him transition from holding a gun on Joe Fitzpatrick to decking the halls in a holiday movie is a testament to his incredible range. I feel so much anticipation for September, knowing that while Cassius is hiding in the WSB shadows, Paevey is stepping into the festive light of a brand new production. I feel so much joy knowing he is returning to his roots in holiday cinema, because his past work in this genre has always been a massive comfort. In the past, he has appeared in Hallmark Channel Christmas movies like Hope at Christmas, Christmas at the Plaza, and A Timeless Christmas. I feel a deep sense of loyalty to his career trajectory, and remembering his charming performances in A Fabled Holiday, Coyote Creek Christmas, and Under the Christmas Sky makes me incredibly eager for this new project. I think it is brilliant that he is leaning into what he does best, and whether this new movie is for Hallmark or the Great American Family app, I feel entirely confident that it will be a massive hit. I know a lot of people are complaining that Maxie Jones wasn't on canvas for this massive Cassius reveal, but I actually think her absence is exactly what's needed because I feel like it protected her character's heart. I feel so relieved that Maxie, Spinelli, and the kids are permanently off in Australia, because the trauma of finding out her beloved Nathan's face was being worn by a sociopathic twin would have completely destroyed the happy ending she fought so hard for. I believe the writer's choice to keep Maxie out of the blast radius was a profound act of mercy, and it makes me appreciate the careful plotting of this show even more. I feel so much empathy for Lulu after she realized the man she fell for was a total fraud. When Lulu confessed her heartbreak to Dante Falconeri, I felt tears prick my eyes. I think her realization that the ultimate proof of his deception was that he fell for her instead of seeking out Maxie was one of the most devastatingly beautiful lines written this year. I feel like this is the best they've written Lulu in months because it grounded her grief in a deeply logical, character-driven truth. It anchored the emotional weight of Cassius's lies directly to Lulu's self-worth, making the betrayal feel so incredibly personal and I believe the dynamic between Cassius and Ross Cullum was a masterclass in tension, and I feel so much adrenaline just thinking about their scenes at Windermere. When Cullum ordered Cassius to make sure Jen Sidwell didn't walk out of that house alive, I felt the sheer weight of the impossible corner Cassius was backed in. I think the way Paevey played the suppressed rage in that moment, clenching his jaw while nodding in submission, was brilliant. It made me feel that Cassius was just as much a prisoner to the WSB as the people he was holding captive, adding a layer of tragic irony to his character that I find absolutely fascinating. I feel so satisfied by the way the show handled the conclusion of this short-term arc. I know some fans wanted Paevey to stay on the daytime soap permanently, but despite the rumors, I actually think an expiration date was vital for the integrity of the story. I feel like if they had dragged out the fake Nathan plot for years, it would have diluted the sheer shock value of his career. The way I interpret it, having Cassius burn bright, cause absolute havoc, and then vanish into the custody of WSB leader Z gave us a tightly paced cinematic experience that never overstayed its welcome. I think the visual storytelling surrounding Cassius's exit was some of the best daytime television I have ever seen. I love the way the shadows literally seemed to swallow him up as he walked away from the batting cages after saying goodbye to James. I feel like that specific directorial choice visually cemented his transition from a man trying to steal a life in the sun to a ghost operating in the dark. Every time I reflect on that final shot, I feel a deep appreciation for the artistic vision of the General Hospital production. They didn't just write a character out, they crafted a hauntingly beautiful farewell. In my opinion, Ryan Paevey's exit from General Hospital appears to be the real deal, and I feel nothing but gratitude for the thrilling ride he gave us. While we will undoubtedly miss seeing him in Port Charles, I feel so much excitement for his upcoming holiday movie. The way I see it, we get to enjoy the legacy of a brilliant soap opera storyline, while simultaneously looking forward to his next creative endeavor. I think the writers and the actor both delivered exactly what was needed to make this temporary return an unforgettable piece of General Hospital. Will Cassius ever return from the shadows, or is this truly the end? Share your theories below, hit that subscribe button, and join our community for more.